Morning, this is the Park County Commission regular meeting for Tuesday, May 31 at 9 a.m. No public hearings this morning, no scheduled public comment. Is there any public comment for items that are not on today's agenda? Public comment? And if anyone on the phone is muted, you can press *6 to unmute yourself. Okay, let's go to action items. Discussion decision approving a Public Works Director's request to close Aldridge Road for the month of June.
Yeah, good morning, commissioners. So this closure comes about, the church was asking, Church Universal Triumphant was asking for us to look at moving where the historic 1896 route of Aldridge Road is to kind of where a current road is located. And could you pull up that second PDF?
I think the map is the first one. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the closure, but
yeah.
So that line in red is the actual original 1896 route. The road in blue is where they're requesting for that to be moved. It sounds like they're looking, or they have a desire to put like a pivot in that lower field. And with that being the actual original 1896 route, they can't do that because that would be a encroachment upon the road. And so I'm hoping we can close it for a month. That way we can work on an MOU that allows public access on that blue road while we go through the process, the official process of abandoning a county road, surveying the new county road. That'll take probably 6 months to a year. And so that MOU would allow public access while still allowing the church to go forward with looking at different irrigation strategies, whatever those might be. And yeah, so that would really be a win for the church. And, you know, as of right now, that 1896 route has never had any action done to it. So it is a legal road that anybody can just go drive up across that field.
Action meaning a closure action, right?
Yes,
or abandonment, right?
Yep. So that is, yeah, anybody can go driving across that field right now. And so this kind of gives them a month to work with us for an MOU. And we can move forward.
Okay, thanks, Matt. Public comment on this agenda item.
Alan Shaw with the Royal Teton Ranch Church on Triumphant. Sure, you know, we definitely would like to work with the county with regard to, you know, reestablishing, you know, a new route, which would allow a pivot in there. That isn't our only option. We can potentially put in wheel lines there and maintain the existing county route. So that's, you know, that's just something for us to consider. Some of the other questions that kind of come to mind is that once the individuals or anybody who drives up there, it's not clear to me exactly what your plans are for a turnaround or for parking area up there. Has that been thought about?
We don't have any plans up there. It's a legal county road. It has to be open to the public by state law.
I see.
Yep.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess it would seem that might be an appropriate thing to take a look at, is where can they turn around up there, the public, and then where are they going to be able to park? So that's something that we'll just look forward to taking a look at in the field and see if we can get something that's going to work.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Additional public comment. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the Public Works Director's request to close the Aldridge Road for the month of June.
Second. Moved and seconded. Discussion. And this looks like a good chance for an accommodation that's a better solution than the status quo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, discussion decisions to direct planning staff to start the formal process of considering the Park County Housing Action Plan as an amendment to the 2017 Park County Growth Policy. Mike, are you on the line this morning?
Good morning, commissioners. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and good morning.
Good morning. So yeah, we've been receiving drafts and kind of updates of the work that Lila Fleischman's been kind of managing through HRDC and the Housing Coalition to develop the Housing Action Plan. And as you know, it's part of our growth policy to work on affordable housing issues. And in fact, after the growth policy was adopted in 2017, there was an effort to create a housing coalition that we were all a part of. It was a city, county, had MSU extension We had Peter Fox as chairman of the planning board that participated in that. That went for about a year and a half, and as you recall, it kind of disbanded. And so the Community Foundation, along with HRDC, kind of picked up the pieces and ultimately developed this housing action plan. As part of our formal growth policy updating process, the county commissioners need to consider whether or not they would like us to go through that process. If you guys determine that you would like us to do that, you can set parameters indicating to the planning board that you only want them to consider this as an addendum and not go through and update any other portions of the growth policy. And if you do so, then we would schedule a public hearing before the planning board, and they would take public comments. We would legally notice that hearing, and then they would make a recommendation to the county commissioners by resolution. That's consistent with the process identified in state statute to update a growth policy. But the planning board can't move forward with that until you direct them to do so. So this is your opportunity to consider whether you want us to start that process, take public comment, and come back to you with a formal recommendation to adopt this as an addendum. And I believe Lila Fleischman is here, and she can speak a little bit more to the actual plan itself and some of the work that went into it. And if you have questions about process, I'll be standing by.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Public comment on this agenda item. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we direct planning staff to start a formal process of considering Park County Housing Action Plan as an amendment to the 2017 Park County Growth Policy.
I enthusiastically second.
Okay, moved and seconded. I believe you were involved in this process.
I was. And, when this process started, housing was a challenge. When this process, today housing is more of a challenge. It's a pretty dynamic landscape. Heather can attest to that. And it's not getting easier. It's an important effort.
Yeah, and I think it does make sense to go ahead and incorporate this as an amendment now rather than wrap it in a new / revised growth policy, just in the interest of timing.
Absolutely.
And Steve, this is Mike. Sorry to jump in. I don't know that Lila was on when you guys asked for public comment, but I see that she's here now if you want her to provide you any information on the plan itself.
Okay, I don't think we had any questions unless she had some comments.
Hi, thanks for having me. I think that Mike did a really good job of summarizing, and as he mentioned, we have been in touch. So I am available for questions. One of the most important parts of our process in this plan was to reach the whole county and engage as many people and organizations as possible. So you can find more information in the plan about that process that we went through, as well as the outcome and why and how these strategies that we proposed are prioritized.
Okay, thank you, Lila. Any
Thanks.
questions from the commission? Additional discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Lila. Thanks, Heather.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. I know it was a labor of love, so emphasis on labor. Yeah. Okay, discussion decision on appointing the post-election audit committee for the 2022 federal primary. I don't know if is Maritza with us this morning by phone.
I am. I was able to
Morning,
call
Maritza.
in.
Good morning.
Good morning. So statute requires that the commissioners appoint the post-election audit committee before the primary election. And we have Jan Buckner, Kelly Quizzle, and Morgan from the clerk of court's office. And they will do this audit after the primary and the random audit that the state selects. And this is just to ensure the accuracy of our tabulator.
Okay. Good. Thanks, Maritza. Public comment on this agenda item. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we appoint the post-election audit committee for the 2022 federal primary. And for those appointments, Jan Buckner, Kelly Quizzle, and Morgan from the clerk of recorder's office.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
Thanks to the clerk and recorder for all their efforts.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Great. Thanks, Marisa. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Discussion decision on fiscal year 2023 COLA adjustments for staff, cost of living adjustments. I think we've had a request from the finance director to postpone this one. Is that right?
For a week, yeah.
For a
Yep.
week?
Still adjusting the numbers.
Okay. Any public comment now that we're here?
Yes, please. Ann
Please.
Caldwell, Bushman Creek. I see from your agenda that you have budget meetings scheduled over the next weeks. How can you possibly consider employee pay increases of 5% when you have no idea what your budget is going to be? You can't possibly be considering approving permanent staff pay increases with only a single year's surplus in hand, can you? Businesses, ranchers, all taxpayers are just recovering from your COVID shutdowns and have no 5% pay increase, but they will have to foot the bill. You need to put this decision off until you have a legitimate future budget in hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Additional public comment? Commission discussion.
I move that we postpone this for a week.
Okay, and that would be to June 7th.
Yes.
Second?
Okay, moved and seconded. Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion decision on signing a resolution to approve the $215,000 Big Sky Trust Fund grant to support Glassy Baby LLC in creation of 43 new jobs in Park County. Kristen, are you on this morning?
I am, Steve. Thank you. This is just a follow-up for the Big Sky Trust Fund grant. Prospera put this together. The county is the pass-through agency, so we will receive some admin funds for my time to do the reimbursement reporting and the reports for this grant. But you guys have to sign this resolution, which explains where all that funding goes to.
Okay, thanks, Kristen. Public comment on this agenda item. Please.
Thank you. Ann Caldwell, Bushman Creek. Big Sky Trust Fund grants were created in a time of high unemployment to help Montana citizens and businesses alike. Times have changed. As Commissioner Caldwell stated at the candidate forum last week, it is difficult to find employees in this tight market. With the help of this grant, Glassy Baby will be assisted by Montana state taxpayers' money, literally to steal employees from other businesses because there are not enough workers to go around. Having just purchased a $24 million Yellowstone Riverside property, the Glassy Baby proprietors are obviously successful and savvy business people. I applaud their success, but I see no reason for Glassy Baby to be mooching off Montana taxpayers by using this Big Sky grant to further feather their nest at the expense of existing Park County employees. I do not support the signing of this grant resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Additional public comment. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the 215,000 Big Sky Trust Fund grant to support Glassy Baby.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion.
You know, we're playing a pass-through role. There's nothing perfect in this world, and there's some benefit here.
And it's not the first one we've done.
Agreed. Yeah. And this is contributing to diversification of our economy. I think that's a good thing. So,
Yeah.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes. Discussion decision on Park County Senior Center ARPA funding request. Kristen?
Yep, Steve, and I think Lauren, who's a board member for the Park County Senior Citizens, is online, but you guys received the information I sent to you last week on their request for some funding from Arpa to help with membership loss as well as water heater replacement. I don't believe in talking with the MACO attorneys that membership loss can be covered. And the commercial hot water heaters, I was able to speak with a local plumber about the cost and that kind of thing. So you have that all in front of you to discuss at this time. And Laura might want to jump in.
Okay.
And
Lauren, are you on the phone?
I am. Thank you, commissioners. Can you hear me?
Ken, good morning.
Morning. Yes, let me know if you have any questions.
Okay. Thanks for being with us. Remotely anyway.
Yes.
Public comment on this agenda item. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move we approve the Park County Senior Center ARPA funding request.
I'll second it.
Okay, moving and seconded. Discussion.
City participation, is there any indication that the city's gonna contribute some ARPA funds to this?
Apparently, they're still working through a methodology for
Right,
considering requests. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything different. One question for Lauren is has the board considered some kind of a way to get this organization on a sustainable footing, or is this just a way to buy some time before that process can be developed?
Well, that's a great question, and I am a newer board member. I guess I've been involved now for about 6 months, and we are in the process of working with HRDC as and having them be in the role of our property manager. And with them, it's going to come a lot of just knowledge, and we have a lot of newer board members. So our plan is, one, to build up our reserves, get these water heaters back in place. These water heaters, right now we have 25 units or 25 residents living there, and we're having to imagine 25 people trying to coordinate showers and different things for hot water, just something like that. But we don't have any funds to, after paying our property taxes this last week, we're around $5,000 to $6,000 in total funds. So we're keeping our head above water, barely. So our plan, to answer your question, to go back to your question, we just had we have 6 board members. 4 of them are brand new, 1 counting myself. So our plan is exploring HRDC coming in as a property manager, giving us a lot of guidance there. And then also we've started a fundraising committee. And so what we need to do is we need to get our membership back up to where it was. And a membership is only $20 a year. So it's not that each membership costs a lot of money, but obviously if we have 1,000 members, that's $20,000 that we can put back into programs. That's just going to help us grow. But yes, we need to get back to where we can have the programs, do the fundraising, and get back to where we are a going concern. Because as of right now, we're not.
Okay.
The
Good. Thank you, Bob.
The mission is to provide these programs and to provide the low cost housing for the seniors. And we don't want to have to increase our rents to where it doesn't make sense. Anyway, I think you get what I'm saying. But yes, it's a important time for us to turn the corner and to get back to where we can stand on our own.
Okay, it's very helpful. Thank you, Lauren. Commission discussion.
Steve, one more.
Go ahead, Kristen.
I just had one more public comment from just my discussions about this project. I don't know if we're able to see bids before a decision is made. Mako attorneys kind of indicated that they thought the quotes were high, and then when I talked to a local plumber, he wasn't sure why they needed 2. He said 1 commercial heater would work for that whole place. So I didn't know if we could wait until we got bid copies and then perhaps see if they are going to include some city involvement, since this is a city-county community resource. that's just some information I wanted to add. Thank you.
Yeah, and I understand that there is still some uncertainty about the bids, and maybe it is worth taking a little time to sort that out. Also, just a quick question: how much is still left in our funds availability for the discretionary?
We're sitting between, it just depends on what projects come through. So we could be anywhere from 25,000 up to 750,000, but it depends on some projects that we have coming up that could
Okay.
get into that balance.
Okay, thanks, Kristen. Mr. Bird, sorry to interrupt.
Oh,
you.
yeah, you know, I find reaching out to HRDC to be encouraging, although those folks are stretched pretty thin, but they bring a lot of expertise and capacity. You know, you look at the recent census results, and clearly there are a lot of us who are pushing into the senior category, if not already there in Park County. So I certainly don't doubt the need, and you know, this operation is already up and running. It'd be great if it succeeded. But having heard this discussion, I'd love to get some sort of indication of where the city is. And it sounds like it'd be wise to get an estimate on what would meet the water heater needs.
Mhm. And I could actually talk
I
to,
can-
suppose. Yeah, go ahead, Lauren.
I was going to interject one thing. So we've had, just to let you know where we are with HRDC, we've had 4 meetings with them. We're expecting an official proposal from them this week. And because of our situation, they're going to work with us on property management fees and different things, and they're going to be helping us, you know, with a lot of other things, you know, to reduce some costs as far as accounting and different things. So that's kind of where we are with HRDC. This has been an ongoing process for over 2 months. So we're very close to, you know, teaming up with them. And then the next thing is I believe one of the reasons why the installation of the water heaters was so is a little bit. I understand the concern, you know, the installation being higher, but I believe that's higher because when we're doing this, we're going to be replacing some old pipes, and we spend around $1,000 a week on maintenance of the pipes and the boilers and everything else, and so that's, hopefully this is going to help alleviate some of those, you know, weekly maintenance fees or costs. So when we go in there and do it, we're going to try and do it right first time.
Okay, good. Thanks, Laura. Mr. Tinsley, your thoughts?
1,000 a week is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
That kind of blew me away. But, you know, I agree with the need. This is not the first time the senior center has been in front of us for other things, but with the cost of housing and the conditions in Livingston, Montana and Park County right now, it's, you know, prices might have to go up to sustain a business like that. They just might have to. I don't know any other way of doing it myself, but I'll approve this, but I do think maybe we should wait or approve it contingent on receiving a bid.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too, and I think to specify what the it is, I think we have some indication we need to exclude the loss of membership factor. So we're down to the boilers and installation. Looks like as it stands now about 33,000, subject to firming up the bids. So, which direction would you like to take?
Postpone or contingent approval, is that the option here? Or denial, of course.
Yeah. If we postpone a week, that would give some time to get the estimates firmed up, I think. And I could also talk to the city in the meantime and find out where they are on the Arpa funding review process.
Yeah, I'll certainly. Do we have to vote on this, or can we amend the motion?
You just have a substitute motion to postpone till the 7th if you want.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moving second. Discussion. Is 1 week enough time to firm that up? Is a question I have.
What are your thoughts, Kristen?
Well, Lauren, could you, are you able to, um,
Sorry, guys,
Yeah.
I couldn't get my thing off mute.
oh,
I think the senior center would have to, I guess fairly, if you came up with 2 proposals from local plumbers, for the needs of that building. I don't know if they could get them in a week or not, because I know everybody's so busy. But we could, I guess, move it to the 7th, and then if that wasn't enough time for them, then we could move it to the 14th.
yeah, and that's the thing. I think I like the 7th because if they haven't ready, but it'd be timely to address it before too much time rolls along. So, yeah, I think the 7th is fine.
Yep.
For the time being.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so a motion postponed until the 7th. All in favor, aye?
All right.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks, good, Lauren.
Yeah, can I just ask a question? So would you like a new proposal for just the water heaters and not the loss of memberships? And then with that proposal, would you like to see 2 bids then for the water heaters and for the installation?
I think that'd be a good course to take, just so we have something, final that reflects what it is we're considering.
Okay. So no loss of membership, but you would consider then the water heaters, the project.
We would consider those, and I think maybe that's the basis for a revised proposal.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Lauren. Okay, discussion decision signing the closeout documents for airport CARES grants.
So these are grants we receive for the airport. 3 of them, we have actually spent enough money, we can close out the grant. The 4th one is just the annual reporting. It's really just more paperwork that the FAA requires to finish those grants up.
Okay, good. So it's to our benefit to sign these.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, Matt. Public comment on this agenda item. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve signing the closeout documents for airport CARES grant.
I second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Discussion decision on approving the DUI task force work plan for fiscal year 23. Shannon, are you on this morning?
Yes, Steve, good morning. How are you doing?
Good, good.
So this is something that comes before you every year. The health department kind of houses and facilitates the DUI task force, which, if you don't know, its mission is to reduce the number of deaths and injuries due to impaired driving through education and assisting law enforcement in community collaboration. We get funding through the state. And in order to receive that, we have to propose a work plan, which is what we have before you. The task force did meet last week to kind of review and share their thoughts. And this is what our work plan we are putting forth to you for you guys to sign. It does need to be submitted by tomorrow. So
Nothing like a deadline, huh?
Yeah,
all right. Thanks.
exactly.
Yeah. Thanks, Shannon. Public comment on this agenda item. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we sign the DUI task force work plan for fiscal year 23 today.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Some good information in here, some really intriguing
Indeed.
data, and yeah, that alone.
And I'll come upstairs after the meeting and grab it from you guys.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Shannon. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Thanks again, Shannon. Okay, discussion decision on appointing Chad Glenn as Chief Deputy Attorney effective immediately. We had a high conversation with the county attorney this morning. She suggests we postpone this to the 7th because she and Lisa are both out today. Any public comment since we're here? Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we postpone this agenda item to June 7th.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion? All in favor, aye?
Okay.
Aye. Motion passes. Discussion decision on mobile crisis response team policies and procedures. Shannon?
Yeah, I can add a little bit, and then I don't know if Jessie Wilcox is on or not. She's our coordinator, but we have hired a peer support specialist, which is a separate grant from the crisis response team, but it will be working with the crisis response team. And therefore, we've just come up with some policies and procedures that we would like the commission to adopt, so they can therefore be, the peer support specialist can be subject to them.
Thanks, Shannon. Public comment on this agenda item. Commission discussion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the mobile crisis response team policies and procedures.
A second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion?
This is a great step.
Great step, great program. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, no county board recommendations today. County department updates. Matt, you want to go first?
Sure. So after the big rain event we had this weekend, the county roads are pretty rough in a lot of locations. So the guys are out grading those, getting that done as fast as they can. You can't see a big difference where we've worked on the roads and made sure that there's a good slope to them, so that the water drains off. That's something the guys have been working hard this last year on. It also doesn't help that we are down one grader. We've been waiting for CAT for 12 months to deliver the graders we ordered. We have replaced the Bear Creek Bridge deck. The barriers were installed last week. That was planned to be guardrail. They started trying to install guardrail up high. They hit basalt rock, which they couldn't drive the steel through. And then lower on Jardine Hill was a mess of utilities underground. So because of that, we switched to barricades, the concrete barricades. Those are all locked together and traffic rated. So that's why you see the difference there. This week I'm working on contacting property owners in Gartner about illegal encroachments. So those letters will be headed out in the mail today. And then we are updating fire suppression in the trucks in the transfer station, working to get some larger fire extinguishers on all the vehicles and a very large one in the transfer station. We'll be installing cameras at the transfer station as well, just to record any activity that's there. And then just kind of do a whole safety update in the transfer station. Solid waste is the 6th deadliest profession in America. And so making sure we have everything in there safety-wise that we need before we start processing more garbage and taking it over to the Gallatin County landfill is a big deal. So that's my public works updates for the moment.
Okay, good. Thanks, Matt. Shannon, are you still on this morning?
Yes, I am.
Anything from the health department?
Thanks. Yes, working on our budgets, of course. And that is a big learning curve for me, but Erica has been a great help. We also are teaming up with Greg at DES and are going to be at the first farmers market tomorrow, displaying just different things that the health department does. We're also going to have some Narcan out that we're going to be providing our residents and showing them how to use that. And then next week, we have the CHIP, which is the Community Health Improvement Plan, where we have invited our stakeholders and team members from throughout the county. We're going to be having, it's one of 2 meetings, and that will be on the 7th at the Shane Center. And we're just gearing up for the summertime. Caleb is busy with septic permits. Brian is really busy with food truck licensing, which is becoming the new hot thing in Park County, probably elsewhere too. And we also are getting Alyssa lined out to assist the sanitarians with the state licensing of vacation rentals.
Great, great. Okay. Thanks, Shannon. Let's see. Kristen, do you have
Oh, I
anything
do
before?
have one more
Go
thing
ahead.
really quick. We're also doing a booster clinic on, oh boy, Laurel, can you jump in? I think it's tomorrow, the 1st.
It is
At-
tomorrow, June 1st, 9 to 1, down at 105 West Lewis.
Okay, good. All right, Kristen, are you, anything to provide for the project updates?
No, I'll just wait for the updates. Thanks.
Okay, Dr. Desnick, do you have anything to provide for us today?
You know, just that suddenly we're back in red. Our cases are very high, our hospitalizations are rising, and the trend is up. And so that means that in any crowded public space indoors, we should all be masking again.
Well, we knew we'd be here at some point, so.
Yeah, it's surprising that it happened this quickly. I think that as the variants continue, they're all Omicron, but they just get more and more and more contagious. And this is a national phenomenon. And, you know, thankfully, most people taking careful steps are going to get no illness or mild, but there's a growing number that are getting more severely ill.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Doctor. Is
Thank
Greg with you this morning? Greg down there available this morning?
Good morning.
Hey, Greg.
Let's see, I will be at the farmer's market with the health department. We'll be co-sponsoring it, and on my side, we have Wildfire Preparedness Day. And then later this week, we have our fire council meeting Thursday. It's the last meeting before we suspend for fire season, and we're working on mutual aid agreement between the departments. And we're trying a new backup paging service. We currently use two services, one for voice recording of the page and one for text with mapping. This new service combines both of those, and I'm working on rolling that out so the departments can test it. That's all I have.
Good. Thanks, Greg. Mike, are you still on?
Good morning, this is Mike. So our focus this week is continuing our legal notification for the proposed agricultural and residential preservation zoning district process. Losh and I went out last week and we did post at the green box sites throughout the county. I think we did 6 of those, and we'll start to make sure we have the draft available in the public library, various chambers throughout the county, and then any place that you guys recommend in addition to what we identified in the formal process. We've got it available on our website. If you do receive comments, please have folks forward them to either our office or the commissioner's office, and so we can start tracking those and documenting them. And just a reminder to the commissioners to pay attention to those public hearing dates that are coming up in August for you guys, and to make sure that you guys don't have any conflicting schedules. Because of the extensive legal notification requirements, we do have to notify, or we have to provide legal notice 45 days in advance of any public hearing. And so we've run it in the enterprise, we've met that requirement, and then we've posted it throughout the county. So if for some reason we have to modify mid-summer, that would really put us back to having to re-advertise and kind of go through it again. So just pay attention to those dates, and I'm in the process of making sure that the board members are going to be available for their dates in July. And then as far as planning board goes, we have a training that we've got confirmed for June 16th, and that will be from 1:30 to 4:30 prior to the regular scheduled meeting on the same day at 5 o'clock. Right now, we're planning to meet in person. I guess I will coordinate with Dr. Desnick and the commission to see if there's a recommendation otherwise, given the increase in COVID cases. But at this point, we're planning to meet in person, which will be the first meeting in some time. So that's all I've got right now.
Thanks, Mike. Morgan, are you on this morning? She may still be out. Mark, are you back today?
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
And of course, the dog barks. So I'm not technically back today, but wouldn't miss this. Yeah, we're just getting ready for Living History Day this Saturday, so that'll be our big event. Welcome the summer with a rainstorm. So we're hoping for some good weather for that. We're also getting our spaces and projects ready for the interns who show up next week. So we're excited to have two folks helping us with our collections there. And then also next week we start our, I guess, dry runs of the walking tours, with the walking tours officially starting that week after next. So programs, and more programs.
Yeah, good to hear. Did you, were you able to line up housing for your interns yet?
We were. We lucked out with that, and one of them ended up finding a place actually over in Bozeman. So it was too difficult for her to find something here, but she is okay with the commute.
Good, as long as it's not winter.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Thank
Erica,
you.
Erica, are you in line this morning? I know she's getting ready for a budget meeting shortly. And Lisa is out today. So let's go to project updates, public transportation.
No update this week.
Okay. Shields Valley Communication Project.
The tower is still set for next week to start building with all the equipment, based on, the mud situation, but it should be a go.
It's pretty rocky up there. They should be able to get up there.
Yeah.
All right, good. Growth policy and implementation.
This is Mike. I have a meeting with the attorney's office this week on Friday to talk about the compliance officer position. And I'm hoping during that meeting I can touch base with them on growth policy process considerations. You've got a recommendation from the planning board. We had a public comment that provided a legal opinion relative to our process. And so I've been asking for the attorney's office to review that, provide any feedback prior to making that action item schedule before you guys. So hopefully by Friday I'll have some clarification and get that scheduled for you so you can move forward with the next step.
Okay, good. Thanks, Mike. Crevice Mountain Road, no updates from me on that.
Ditto.
Okay. Cybersecurity network upgrades.
I don't have an update from Erica. I think it's still moving along efficiently.
Okay, good. Gartner Capital Improvements Plan.
They're starting back up on that draft after fast completion of some applications that were due last week.
Good. Minimum allocation infrastructure projects.
I just moved that Park County Senior Center action item to next week's agenda.
Okay, good. Public comment for the above projects. Okay, meeting minutes. Got a bunch of them. Thanks, Carly.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the meeting minutes for 3/8, 5/24, and 3/15.
And 3:10 special meeting.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Corrections, discussion. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Passes. Thanks again, Carly.
Always.
Consent items, daily correspondence, public comments. Mr. Tinsley.
The only thing I really have is I have a call from the city of Clyde Park. Wanting to discuss the fees we charge for sanitarian fees. And I talked to them this morning, and I'll reach out and call them back and see, maybe we have to go to a meeting at Clyde Park. But I think we can work that out. That's all I got.
Okay. And I think those rates were based on just cost recovery. I think, certainly not trying to make any money.
Correct. Instead of before we were doing an hourly rate of $37.50 an hour, I think. And this year, Shannon thought it'd be a good idea just put a $4,000 period in there. Talked to the attorney for Clyde Park, but I've had several calls on it, so we'll try to get something worked out.
Okay, good. We'll look for that maybe on a future agenda.
Yeah.
Sure.
I have been encouraged to attend the CHIP meeting from 8:30 to 11:30, June 7th, now that we just kicked a bunch of agenda items there. you're welcome.
Yeah.
But if that works out, I will attend that CHIP meeting. If you gents can go without me.
At least part of it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, certainly go ahead. Not sure what else will be on the agenda by then, but you can play it by ear if you want.
That sounds good. It's here in town, so I can maybe multitask if needed.
Okay.
The event on Van Raven Pass went well. I had a few minutes each with Danes, Rosendale, and Tester staff talking about the gateway community work that Danes is doing and Yellowstone type issues, housing and rail. They had quite a tour looking at the housing projects in the park and also the Yellowstone River Bridge project that's coming up. So they got a pretty deep dive. Morgan and I met with the Park Service later that day, talking about the event coming up in Arch Park in the third week of August. So still working out those details, and talked to many Gardner residents about the grader coming to town today. So I'm hoping that vehicles were moved and the grader actually has room to get through town and that the amount of moisture is just right.
We'll see.
We'll see.
That's it.
All right. I don't have a whole lot else to add. So commissioner comments. Hensley.
I have none.
Mr. Burt.
Budget meeting after this, rail authority meeting tomorrow, and business as usual or unusual to follow.
And nothing else to add, except we also have a budget meeting on Thursday at 10 o'clock. I have an area 4 board meeting on 1 o'clock, which is a catch-up meeting from before, since we didn't have the allocations from the state yet. I'm also going to be attending the Leadership 49 event, I think at 5:30 that day.
Ditto.
So social event. We'll look forward to seeing those folks, and it's always encouraging to see their participation is always diverse and enthusiastic.
One thing I did forget is I'm going to Clyde Park this Friday,
Okay.
for a 9 o'clock meeting. You guys both mentioned it.
Yeah, might want to come along for that one.
We can sure do that.
Yeah, so we'll need to get that noticed.
I might wait till next time.
Okay.
It's my birthday. My wife has plans.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. You could have cake there. You never know.
Yeah, that's tempting.
Also, Sunday is the Yellowstone Bend Citizens Council CPACE event at the band shell. I'll be going to that and speaking briefly, I hope.
I plan to attend.
Okay, that's at 4 o'clock on Sunday, so we'll get that noticed too. And I believe that's all I have.
Mr. Chair, I move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 9:48. Thanks, everybody.